He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Hi, this is comedian and depressed alcoholic James Nokise, and you're listening to Eating Fried Chicken in the Shower, a podcast about headspace and happiness for my safe place, the shower with fried chicken.
Today I'm talking to News Hub anchor Samantha Hayes. We'll be chatting about the consistency of vegetarian chicken.
It's kind of a bit bouncy, isn't it? It's chewy.
Yeah, it's got a rubberiness to it.
Yeah, this looks like it could be waterproof.
Yeah, it could be waterproof. Trying to pee in Antarctica.
You know, there's a no yellow snow policy. If you're a girl, you have a little device thing that kind of makes it easier to
like the
pee standing up.
Shiwi?
Shiwi, yeah.
Shiwi.
And it's amazing how often I've talked about this.
Oh,
because
really?
everyone wants to know.
And how she likes to party.
I joined a gym. Yeah, I do the spin classes, which are kind of like clubbing for middle-aged people. You should try it. You want to come with me?
Yeah, I'll come. I will come. I'll come in a second.
Because the music is amazing.
Some of this will get a bit real, the language, the subjects, so make sure you're in a safe space with your comfort food, and join us eating fried chicken in the shower.
Let's have some of this
should we
fried
have
chicken.
some? So we're having, you've been so nice to me today, vegetarian fried chicken.
Excellent.
Have you tried this stuff before?
No, God, no.
I wish we hadn't have told you and I could have seen if you...
If I
thought
could
it was
tell.
close to actual chicken or not. I'm going to give this a go.
Are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm going to just
All right.
see what it's like. Oh, that's good. What do you think?
Yeah, that's actually quite good.
Are you lying?
No.
It's kind of a bit bouncy, isn't it? It's chewy.
Yeah, it's got a rubberiness to it.
Yeah.
Would you do eating vegetarian fried chicken in the shower kind of thing? Because this is the kind of stuff I would eat in the shower. People seem to be obsessed with what kind of chicken I'm eating in the shower. And I keep trying to explain a KFC breast, it's too cumbersome.
This looks like it could be waterproof.
Yeah, it could be waterproof. We found it. Oh God, my perfect
ideal.
chicken was vegetarian. How long have you been vegetarian?
So I haven't, it's about 24 years.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't eaten any meat since I was maybe about 10 or 11, since I was a kid, yeah.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
do you remember it?
Yeah, I grew up in South Otago and my auntie and uncle had a farm and I was just really lucky because my auntie had a riding school as part of the farm and, you know, I'd go up there, ride horses with all the kids that came and stayed. And I just remember being out riding one day, and I guess now looking back, I'd probably call that an epiphany. You know,
Yeah.
I was riding up the top of the farm, and from this beautiful kind of ridgeline up the top where you can look right over the farm, so I could see the sheep and the little lammies, and I could see the cows and everything, and it was just so beautiful. And I just remember looking out and thinking, I get how this all works. You know, the lambs go away, and then they get killed, and then people eat them, and I just remember thinking, I don't want to be a part of that. I mean, everyone else can. I actually clearly remember that thought. Everyone else can keep doing it. In fact, they need to, otherwise we wouldn't have this beautiful farm. But me personally, I don't want to have to eat meat anymore.
Were your parents into it, or were they because you're 10?
Yeah, they tried to.
Are they this is the rebellion?
Everybody tried to stop me from being vegetarian.
Are you Lisa
I think
Simpson?
I might have been the only vegetarian in the village.
Are you Lisa Simpson at the barbecue?
I think I was. Yeah. What did Homer say? You don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with.
Did you ever try and stop them?
I make a really good salad. Just
you make it,
FYI, yeah.
Well, okay.
Maybe that's what I can do after Dancing with the Stars. Make like a cookbook. Sam salads. What do you
Boom!
reckon?
I like it. Sam salad. Well, also
they're not that good.
Hi, Radio New Zealand. It's me again. I'd like to pitch a podcast for 2019 called Sam Salads, where TV3 news anchor Samantha Hayes, or Sam Hayes as she likes to be known, teaches ridiculous comedian James Nokise how to make salads.
How to make salads. You big on salads?
No, but I'm big on RNZ giving me funding for food.
Right.
I can relate to this because here's the thing. I'm allergic to pork.
Actually allergic?
Actually allergic. It's hormonal, so it kicked in at puberty. And so I grew up eating it all, like ham, bacon, and then suddenly they thought I had glandular fever because I kept passing out and falling asleep. Turned out allergic to, now in the Samoan culture, where I come from, that is that's quite a holy food. You have to, that's if you get married, they cook a pig and honor. Pork's a big part. So that was my dad going, I think he's trying to rebel. I don't know what this is, but so I do relate to you, because every now and then I have to like remind, but it's not, I'm not in a position where I don't mind eating it. So occasionally out of politeness, I eat it.
And then pass out.
Then I look at my thing, or I fake taking a phone call and go, I have a gig I didn't expect. I need to because I don't want to embarrass my family by passing out in front of them from their food.
Why don't you just say I can't eat pork?
I'm getting better at it. Now I'm, a grown married man in my 30s.
Sometimes you have to be vulnerable. You just have to say, this is a thing for me, and and hope that people will respond in a loving way.
If you've got, pardon my metaphor, the balls to come out to your farmer family in South
at 10
in Otago in the 90s saying, hey, I'm going to be vegetarian, is there, when you say water off a duck's back, does that come from being able to pull a move like that?
I think I'm just really stubborn. And I guess for me as a kid, I just couldn't see another way. I just couldn't eat an animal because I loved animals so much, and I just couldn't do it. So I dug my toes in and I called my parents' bluff. And they eventually they were supportive of it eventually, but initially I guess there were lots of people trying to convince me otherwise. I guess you do have to kind of, to a degree, have blinkers on when you work in television, and just stay really focused on what it is that you care about, what you're trying to do, and not let because some of the harshest criticism, in fact I would say the harshest criticism, comes from me.
Yeah, right.
No one can be more of a critic than I can be, and so you have to kind of learn to quieten that voice as well as the ones that you might hear from the wider community.
Eating fried chicken in the shower. No chickens were harmed in the creation of this episode.
Because it seems like you've built up some pretty strong defense mechanisms against critique. All that kind of, I mean that in a complimentary way. What I'm hearing is, a lot of people come in and go, you should do this. And you're like, no, and you're you're quite strong in yourself. Is that something you've built, or
potentially? Yeah, I mean, I haven't. Obviously that's how you see it from your perspective, and I don't ever really see myself like that. But I think that you do have to know who you are and what you care about and what you believe in, and then stick to that, because otherwise you would be changing direction every 5 minutes, and nobody could possibly keep up with that. So I know that I care about the environment. I know that I really care about climate change. I know that one of the really good things I can do for both of those causes is not eat meat. And I also really just still to this day love animals, and I just, I don't ever see a day where I'll change that stance.
But also, I mean, you're a mountain climber.
Well, I'm a trainee mountain climber.
What does that mean?
I've only done one. I've only done one mountain, Mount Taranaki.
Oh, yeah.
Which, off the top of my head, is 2,518 metres. This is the first thing you need to learn, James, is that people that like to climb mountains, they know how high they are.
Did you tick it off as you climb? No.
Sometimes you do think,
100,
how much
200.
further... Well, my mountain instructor, buddy that I'm learning all these skills from, he has a watch that tells him. And actually, partway up, he said, I needed to recalibrate, and actually we're only this high. We'd lost a couple of 100 metres.
Do you lose faith in your mountain climber when they lose how high you are?
Not this one, no.
Do you find it clears your mental health?
Oh, it has been so brilliant. So earlier this year, winning Dancing with the Stars, which was, I think at the time I called it a beautiful surprise, and it was. It was just something I did not think was ever possible. So that was hitting this absolute high, right? What did you call it? The post-show blues, or
post-race blues.
That kicked in, and I think because I was just I was physically and emotionally exhausted. I felt really flat, dangerously low. Based on how I normally am, I'd never really felt like that before, and I was aware of what was going on. I knew that it was because of the extremely busy time that I'd had with dancing. I did Aaron and I, my dance partner, we did 104 days in a row
Of dancing.
of dancing and live shows 6 days a week. The 7th day was a rehearsal day, so 104 days in a row, plus the news in there as well, my normal full-time job.
Yeah, that's not intense.
And, towards the end of it, we started training 4 hours a day with my normal job. And we ramped it up, so it was 6, and then it was 8. And then towards the end, we were doing 12 to 14-hour days because we had to learn 2 dances. But anyway, came out the back of that, and I felt, it was definitely like the best thing that happened in the year. It was incredible. But then sort of strangely, it led to like the worst part of my year, which was immediately afterwards when I just felt really, really down. And then I started speaking to a friend who suggested that I look at climbing a mountain. And again, I thought, that's ridiculous. I don't know anything about mountains.
Is that a friend? If you unload your problem, I'm feeling really down. You should get up that mountain.
Get up that mountain.
We'll talk when you get back.
Let's climb a mountain. And my response was, that's ridiculous. No way, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. Mountains are really scary and difficult places. People get injured or don't come back from doing those kind of things. But I kind of kept talking about it. And the more that I talked about it, I realized that I was coming out of that funk. And I was feeling really excited.
Yeah,
and
right.
there were all these reasons why I couldn't do it. But there were dancing was exactly the same. There were so many reasons why I'd never danced before. I had no idea what I was doing. It was terrifying doing that live on TV. But with the mountain, it was the same. And so when we first did Mount Taranaki, it was possibly it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was terrifying. Someone said to me the day before, someone that's done the mountain a few times said in passing, one false step and it can be fatal.
That's not a friend. You don't say that to someone who's climbing a mountain.
And I think the real lesson from it for me was, don't get overwhelmed by the bigger picture, because if you look up at the mountain and realize what's going on, that is insurmountable. You can't climb that mountain. But if you just keep your head down and look and think about the next few steps, or even just the next step, you can do that step, you can do the next one, you can do the one after it, and you can get there. You do get there. But if you if you get overwhelmed by the bigger picture, it seems too hard and you want to turn around and go back.
Honestly, I can tell you, I thought the vegan chicken would be the point of difference in this episode.
Right.
But you have the strangest safe place yet. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm not good sitting at home without something to do.
How are you with death?
Yeah, I just try not to think about it. Which is healthy? No, I don't know. Is
Yeah,
it?
I think
I'm not sure.
I think it's healthy when you're up the mountain. What about when dancing and they lift you up and you're just suspended there? And are you thinking about death? Are you thinking about the ridiculousness of the patriarchy? Are you thinking about
I'm thinking about whether or not my outfit has flicked up and everyone can see my bum.
Oh, right.
That was happening with one outfit. It had this beautiful lace on it, but every time I did this particular move, it would stick to itself.
Has your bum been on television before?
It's now.
Is it now the debut?
I'm hoping nobody noticed, but I think there were flashes of it, so that's happened. Wow, 2018.
Have you been that vulnerable in a performance before?
Oh my God, absolutely not. No. And so before I agreed to do Dancing with the Stars, one of the reasons why I really didn't want to do it is because I was going to have to be vulnerable. I was going to have to show people a lot more of who I actually am, which I'm cool with. I'm happy, but as a newsreader, people don't necessarily see a lot of actually who you are. So in a way, it was going to be, I guess, if you were writing a pros and cons list, people getting to know me would be a pro, right? Be on the good column, but also, what if they didn't like me?
Yeah.
And so that was a fear that I had going into it. I was pretty scared about. Yeah, I did feel incredibly vulnerable on that show.
Yeah, right. What do you do on a day-to-day?
Well, I think one of the most important things for me, and particularly coming out of doing that much exercise, was getting back into going to the gym. So I started going to all those crazy classes that people go to that I thought I would. I would hate it, but in fact I loved it. And
Are you really good at it now because you've got this core?
No, well,
dancing?
I mainly do cycling. I do the spin classes, which are kind of like clubbing for middle-aged people. You should try it. You want to come with me?
Yeah, I'll come. I will come. I'll come in a split second.
Because the music is amazing. And you're like, I never thought I would be one of those people, but I love it. I love it so much.
Eating fried chicken in the shower. Harder to do outdoors, but worth the wait.
Do you get anxiety? Do you get anxious?
Yeah. I went through a period last year of actually having proper severe anxiety.
Right.
And it was such a, well, I say revelation. It was awful. But I suddenly realised this is what people talk about when they talk about anxiety. I always sort of thought anxiety was feeling like scared or stressed out about something, but you can manage it, right? But I realised actually sometimes you can't. It becomes bigger than you are, and you need help with that. So, yeah, it is pretty scary, especially for someone like me that works in live television. And I kept thinking, what if this happened live on air? Mental health is it's something we're starting to talk about more, but I think the conversation just needs to be moved on as much as possible. And I hope that if people, I don't know if they hear about me going to see a psychologist on a sort of semi-regular basis. Sometimes I kind of don't go for a month or so, and then I might pop back in and you think, what am I even going to talk about? But something always comes up, but I think if people can hear about that and think, okay, that's help them, maybe they might do it, and it might help them as well. I'm a crier, so I'm not going to cry today.
That's all right.
Fingers crossed. No, but I cry at the drop of a hat, and I always have done ever since I was a kid, and so I knew that going to see somebody to talk about my feelings, that I would probably spend an hour crying. Yeah.
I find that quite cathartic.
Oh yeah, but are you a crier? Do you cry when you don't want to cry? I mean,
I do, but I also, because I'm a Kiwi male and I've grown up in, my trick is I'll find a sad movie or a movie which I know hits me emotionally. I may have seen it ages, but I'll get some fried chicken or something. But just, and I'll watch the film.
You do it
because I know I need to get it out. I did it actually a couple of weeks ago with Coco, the Pixar film.
I haven't seen it.
So, well, if you keep that one in the back pocket for when you need a good cry.
Filing that. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Difficult question now. Bath or shower?
I love a good bath. Yeah, I love a good bath. But I mean, it's an event, isn't it? It's not a daily. No. Can't be a daily kind of occurrence.
It'd be great if it could.
It could, it would be great.
Time.
But you in and out of the shower, I mean, take the coffee in if you need to.
Ideal bath scenario?
Ideal bath scenario. Probably some bath salts sprinkled in there.
Good for the cycling legs.
Yeah, Epsom salts, really good. Yeah, and a book. Yeah, that's, if I'm having a bath, it's to unwind, and so I have my book there, phone's turned off.
Physical book, or like do you do the pad?
No, I'm a proper book.
Yeah, how come?
Well, I have a buddy. Well, I only know him from the bookstore. Andrew, my friend, has a bookstore up on Jervois Road, and
of course, your friend has a bookstore because it's New Zealand. Of course,
he's also a mountaineer.
Is he a mountaineer?
Yes, so we talk about mountains.
Did you meet him through the mountaineer?
No, I just met him by buying a book one day, and so I go in there and I say, I need another book. And Andrew, it's like, what about these? And he recommends them to me, and we were talking about Antarctica.
Have
I told you I've been there 3 times?
Yes, well, see, but you've done it very humbly and not overstating how far you've gone.
I was saying to my producer the other day, because we're going camping on Ruapehu, and I said, the last time I went camping was in Antarctica. And he said, can't you just be normal and go to the Coromandel?
Oh, come on, man. McRoberts is like in war zones.
Exactly.
Like you can't go to Antarctica.
I can go, yeah, exactly.
He hasn't even done dancing yet.
Well, he's going to be good.
Yeah?
He's going to be very good.
Have you seen him dance?
I don't think I have, but you can tell.
Does he have to wear the little togs with the sequins too?
Yeah, the guy's shirt have the togs in the bottom.
Really?
And then the pants go over the top.
I reckon you should just bring one of the outfits that you wore in and just leave it on his chair before the 6 o'clock news each night. Just to say it's coming for you, Mike.
He's excited. It's going to be good. It's a roller coaster. It's incredibly fun.
Have you done war zones? Mm-mm. Does that speak to you in any way?
I think Sorry, the chicken.
No, it's fine. This is not the optimal chicken eating question.
I haven't been to war zones, no. But it is incredibly important to have journalists in war zones. As close to what's going on as possible, so that people can know what's happening, and the people that are involved can be held to account.
Because they need people who are good at climbing mountains.
Do they?
A lot of those war zones have mountains, my friend.
Do they?
It seems like this is the next chapter. They also need people who can survive on eating anything that's there. So if you can cook a salad and climb a mountain, you're halfway to being a war
Probably
zone.
more just a muesli bar and some nuts if you're lucky.
That's a Milo.
Love a good Milo.
Love a good Milo.
Love a good Milo. Yeah.
Have you had to use the bathroom on the mountain while you're climbing up?
Look, why does everyone ask that question?
Generally because that to me is the most terrifying part of climbing the mountain.
Really?
I'll go up, I'll fall off, but don't ask me to, drop trowel.
Well, because mountains are a beautiful, pristine environment, you've got to take everything off the mountain with you.
So paper bag?
I'll
Plastic
probably
bag?
go
Plastic, yeah. Poop scooping yourself on the mountain.
I haven't had to do that yet, but in Antarctica, there's a no yellow snow policy. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, well, any waste that is anything that's taken into Antarctica is brought back again. And so when you're camping, I've been lucky enough to camp up in the Freeze Hills and the dry valleys for almost a week up there, and then out on the sea ice over the Ross Sea last time I was there about a year ago. And so you pee in a bottle and then it goes into a bigger container. Just combine your pee with everyone else's pee, and then that gets helicoptered back to base.
You don't have to drag it along with you?
No, you don't. But you do throughout the day. You've got your drink bottle and then your pee bottle. And if you're a girl, you have a little device thing that kind of makes it easier to
like the
pee standing up.
Shiwi or
Shiwi,
something?
yeah.
Shiwi.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And it's amazing how often I've talked about this.
Oh,
because
really?
everyone wants to know
I'm sorry to bring
about
back
those details. But it's part of it.
This is the price of celebrity.
You get used.
People
You
want
just get used to it, and it's not. I mean, because I'm kind of a little bit sensitive about that kind of stuff. But it's a little bit embarrassing. But just get on with it. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Embrace vulnerability.
You'll be advertising a Shiwi next year. That's
Oh my gosh.
When I was in Antarctica. Do you have anything else you'd like to share in the shower?
Well, thanks for having me. I'd like to say thanks for having me with the chicken nuggets. And yeah, I guess if we've been talking about mental health today, I think it's just really important to say that it's okay to talk to people and to say that you're not having the best time. I mean, I did not realize that one of the lowest points for me was going to come after one of the highest points for me. But it did, and I was really lucky to have people around me that I could talk to about it. And I went and saw a professional, a psychologist, and through my own kind of, some may say crazy self, came up with a solution, which was to put another big challenge in front of me and work towards that. But we've got to have these conversations. So good on you for starting them.
Oh no, thanks for coming out.
Chicken.
How do you see yourself, out of curiosity?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Is that a tough one?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
I feel like you've got a strong sense of yourself. That's the only reason I ask.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I'm not asking you to brag. You don't have to humble it. I'm just curious how you view.
How do I view myself? I am just someone who tells some other people about some stuff that's happened.
Oh, that's gangster.
That's my job. That's what I do.
That's very gangster.
And I remind myself every day that the stuff that I'm telling them about is important and they need to know about it. But that's all it is, really. That's all it boils down to. And then me on the side of that, I guess.
A dancer, climb mountains.
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Yeah.
Eating Fried Chicken in the Shower was produced by Charlie Bleakley and presented by me, James Nokise. The engineer is Blair Stagpool. The executive producers are Justin Gregory and Tim Watkin. Subscribe to every episode of this podcast at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Radio Public, or at radionz.co.nz/series. And while you're on Apple, please rate us by clicking on ratings and reviews, then the stars. But only give us 5. It's really simple and means way more to us than it does to you. It's a great way to spread the word and get me more free fried chicken. If you want to share your safe space or comfort food, tweet me at James Nokise. All complaints can be tweeted to RNZ. Whaftailava Matewa.
This podcast is made possible by the RNZ New Zealand On Air Innovation Fund.